So if you look to your left, you can see the tram. You know, 30-40 years ago, we had a lot of trams in the city center for transport, but today we have only one that goes from the center out to the island where the museums are. And the public transport is normally buses. You can see them, red buses and blue buses that go all over Stockholm. And then we have the metro, of course. And the metro in Stockholm is very special because it's painted and decorated in many of the stations. So you have a really beautiful metro, actually. And that you have to try next time you come to Stockholm. So here you can see one of the public transport. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll try again with the Vasa Museum because now we're here. So please prepare yourself. We're going off the bus. You can leave things in the bus if you want to, no problem. We are going to be 1 hour, 15 minutes more or less in the Vasa Museum. And then we come back out to the bus. Okay? Okay. So we'll go off here, just by the side. Then we also have H&M, Hennes and Mauritz. They sell clothes, and you have them in the States as well. So the street we're on now, it's called Karlavägen, and well, the houses around here, they are also built in the 1800s, and they are mixture between rental apartments and other apartments. There's another group of small Swedish people here to the left now, walking in the rain. The future of Sweden. I told you a little bit about the religion. I told you that we are 9 million people here. 1 million people are immigrants or children of immigrants. So the most important group, the biggest group, are the Finns, people from Finland, because they came here during the 50s and the 60s to work in the Swedish industry. So when I was young, for example, and I was in school, we always had 1 or 2 Finnish children in the class as well. Now, the second largest group is the people coming from Iraq. From the war, of course. And then the third largest group of immigrants, they come from former Yugoslavia. So around 1 million people in Sweden from other countries. To the right now, one of the many parks, once again. And There is a building a little bit further down here I will show you. It's a yellow building. That's the National Library. So that's a library where you can go and borrow the books, but you have to sit in the library to read them, because you can see it down here now on your right hand side behind the trees. A little bit further down, the National Library. Now you can see it here to the right. And they have one copy of every document, every book and document written in Sweden, actually. So that's a very important place. And we have come down to something called Stureplan, which is one of the more central parts of Stockholm. You have a lot of shops here, restaurants and so on, a lot of nightclubs, so in the night many people moving around this place. Oh. I would say the economic downturn, the effect of Sweden is affecting Sweden, but less than other countries, I would say. Because if you compare with Spain, for example, I have a lot of Spanish groups during the summer. They are, you know, Spain, Greece, and all these countries, Iceland as well, a few years ago. They were more affected than Sweden by the economy. But we feel it, of course, but it wasn't as chaotic and strong as it was in the other countries. If you want to buy something very typical Swedish, I would say that there are two things, and I will show you in the old town where you can do that if you want to. So everything made from glass and made from crystal is typical Swedish. Very beautiful things, small things, big things, very expensive. And then you have the wooden horses, they are painted in different colors. It's called Dalahäst, the Dalarian horse. It comes from a special region in the north of Sweden, and it has a special history. I would tell you that a little bit further on, because because I just want to show you here we have a very important building on our left hand side after crossing the street. You see the big building here to the left? This is the concert hall, and this is where the Nobel Prizes are awarded. So this is where the prize ceremony is every 10th of December. Just beside the Haymarket. You see to the left here where they are selling vegetables and flowers and fruits and so on. And the majority of the things you can see now here, they are imported from other countries because of the climate, you know. But then when you come to August, September, the majority of the things that they sell here come from Sweden, because that's harvest time for us. August. Before that we have the Swedish strawberries, and we always hope for them to come before midsummer, you know, the 24th of June. But we'll see this year. I don't know how the harvest is this year, but that's a very typical Swedish thing, that be able to eat the Swedish strawberries to midsummer. And a little bit further down here we are crossing the pedestrian street. It's called the Queen Street, and when we cross it, if you look to the left, let's see if we can that, because there is a big bus here now to the left. Well, if you look to the left now, you can see many people walking there, all the shops, and this way to the left go all the way down to the old town. So the pedestrian street continues down in the old town, from the Haymarket and down. And I don't know what you want to do on your free time, you know, but if you want to go and try something typically Swedish, you remember I told you about the salmon, the pickled herrings. They don't have them in all the restaurants, but you have to ask, you know. And if you only want to, I know there is a lot of food on the boat, I think, but on your boat. But if you want to eat, you can do that in the old town. I will show you where to go. And you can also always try, if you don't want to eat a meal or something like that, you can always try the cinnamon buns, you know, because we have something here in Sweden called fika. And that's when at 11 o'clock in the morning or at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 2, 3, you have to have a coffee and a cinnamon bun. That's very typical. It's called kanelbulle in Swedish, but I will show you where you can buy that if you're interested. Because in the old town there is a small bakery, so you can go in there and buy it and eat it on the street, or you can go to one of the cafeterias as well if you want to sit down and have a bit of less rain on you. So to the right here on the corner, a little bit further up, there is some theaters. Maybe you saw it said Lady Killers, musicals and so on going on here. In the northern part of Sweden we have an ice hotel made from ice. Here in Stockholm we have an ice bar. So it's situated down on this street here to the right. You have to go inside the hotel, Nordic Sea Hotel. It's a small bar. Everything is made from ice, even the glasses. So I always say that you can't take them with you as a souvenir, because you know they will melt down before you come to the boat. And when you go there you have to wear special clothes, because it's very cold inside, of course. Special gloves. And it's quite funny actually. We have it also in Denmark, in Copenhagen. There is an ice bar, and in some other places in the world. The white building here on our right hand side, it says Centralstation. That's the central station, of course. And the white sign here with the blue T means tunnelbana. That's the Swedish word for metro. So this is an important center for where all the trains go to different parts of Sweden, and also the metro. And if you look on your right hand side soon, you will be able to see, remember I told you about the city hall? So this is the tower of the city hall. Let's see, now you can see it on your right hand side here. The tower of the city hall. And the 3 golden crowns at the top. So this is where, you remember I told you that the prize ceremony of the Nobel Prize is in the concert hall, where we just passed. And then all the guests, around 1,300 guests, they go to the city hall to eat a really nice food made from the best chefs that we have in Sweden, and also to drink a lot of wine and dance in the golden hall. Now to the right, you can see the tower. Här kan vi köra rakt fram ju. Ja. So if you look to the right now, on the other side of the water, you can see a roundish building. That's a part of the parliament actually. That's the modern part of the parliament. And the building you see in front of us a little bit to the right here on the corner, where there is a guard standing, that's the government building. So this is where the government works. And around here in this area you have 12 ministries, all belonging to the Swedish government. You know, the Swedish Parliament is open to the public as well. I work as a guide in the Parliament as well, and we receive, first of all, we receive a lot of school classes during the week, and then during the weekends it's open to the public, and they have guided tours in Swedish and in English. And during the summertime they are open every day to tourists and people who want to come and visit. And well, we're in the month of May. In just a few weeks around the 10th of June, the children here are starting their summer holiday until the midst of August. So we have a few more weeks in school. And you start school here in Sweden when you're 7 years old, and we have a compulsory school for 9 years for everybody, and then you can choose to go on to high school for 3 or 4 years to prepare yourself for the university or to prepare yourself for a profession. And around 1/3 of the students, they go on to the university. I work as a Spanish teacher as well in the university. And you know, all education in Sweden is free. That's something we get from the high taxes, you know. So you don't have to pay, even when you go to the university, you don't have to pay an entrance fee to get in there. But then you also you have to pay where you're living, of course, your apartment and clothes and books and so on. But all education is free. We have the social security system as well, of course. So if you're ill, for example, you can't go to work, they pay you 80% of your salary. Normally it's the company that you work in that pay the 2 first weeks, and then the social security system gets in and pay the rest. Ja, det är lugnt. Once again, the opera house here to the left. And if you have to go to the doctor, or if you have to do an operation in the hospital, you pay only an amount, a part of what it costs, and the social security system pays the rest. So if I go to the doctor, normally I pay between 150 and 200 Swedish kronor. The retirement age in Sweden is 65 years old. And we used to have a very, a very different retirement system. I just want to show you here. To the left now, you see the big red building over there with all the flags on the top. That's the Grand Hotel, one of the oldest hotels in Stockholm. You know, before we had a very expensive system that paid you when you were retired at 65 years of age. But that system was very expensive. So now it's based, the money you get when you're retired, it's based on how long you have worked. So if you have worked all your life, it's okay. If you have worked less, it's not so okay. So many people, they have their private pensions as well, you know, to help the system. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going up to the Royal Palace. We're going up to the Old Town now, so you have to prepare yourself. Once again, we're going off the bus. And I will tell you, since we are inside now, I will tell you how we are going to do here. So, I will walk you around a part of the Old Town and tell you what we can see here around us. If you're not interested walking with me, you're free to go on your own. You choose, you know, because I know it's raining, maybe you don't want to. I will take you all over to the square, where there are a lot of restaurants and cafeterias that you can, it's okay, that you can sit in if you want to. The walk around the Old Town with me will take around 35 minutes, more or less. So I will take you around a part of the Old Town and show you and tell you about the buildings and so on. But, are you listening now? Yes. This is important. We are going back to the ship at 1:40. You hear me? 1:40. So we have, it's almost 12 o'clock now. So we have 1 hour and 40 minutes here, okay? Are you with me? Yeah. So if you're interested in walking on your own here, when we come to the square, for example, it's only on the other side here, you know that you have to be back here, just in front of the Royal Palace. You see the beautiful gardens here to the left and the flowers, of course. So this, for example, you can see the cameras on the wall. This is an embassy. And when we turn around here, there is a big grey building that I will point out to you as well. So this big grey building with all the security around it is the American Embassy. The one here to the right. So you know it's impossible to get in here, as you can see. It says here, Embassy of the United States of America. You have the Turkish Embassy here to the left. And a small, very beautiful church. This is the Anglican church, surrounded by the embassies and the residences of the ambassadors. And the building here to the right, this is called Berwaldhallen. This is a concert building. This is the seat of the Radio Philharmonics of Sweden. So this is a concert building for classical music, above all. It's built into the ground and has a really good acoustic. All the buildings here to the right, they belong to the Swedish television and the Swedish radio. It says here on the corner to the right, Sveriges Television. And the big tower to the right with the lamps on the top, this is the television tower. You remember we saw it from the mountain street on the other side of the water. And I told you that it's behind the television tower that your boat is. To the left on the corner here, the Film Institute. And the buildings you can see here to the left in front of the bus. I used to work here in an office many years ago, but now I've seen that many of the offices here, they have redone them and now they're apartments. So this is kind of a new area for people to come and live. It used to be industry area. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming into the harbor once again, and I think I can see your boat soon. Your boat is just in front of us here now. You're permanent. You're not your permanent home, but your your temporary home. So, ladies and gentlemen, we just want to thank you for having come to Sweden.